What up? What up? What up? What's good? What's up, people? What's up? It's me, L Teddy 27, and I'm back for another review. This is a retro review of The Wire Season 1, Episode 12. No, that's not 12, that's 7. But 12, 1 and 2. Look, and it's titled Cleaning Up. Now, we're almost down to The Wire, all puns intended, okay? We have one more episode. We have this episode, and then the season finale is episode 13. So a lot of things are happening right now, okay? So let's get right down to it. So we got Daniels and McNulty. They're at the hospital. Daniels updating McNulty. Went in to go see Kima. Update McNulty says going to see him. McNulty can't bring himself to go in and see Kima, okay? And McNulty is at the point where he's ready to quit the case. And so he opens up and tries to be transparent with Daniels finally about the fact that the case was really never about Barksdale. It was always about McNulty, all about his narcissism and ego, all about his white man privilege, not being able to really, dare I say, accept the fact that he's in a city majority black folk, and they have black men and black women in positions of authority, and him and his white man privilege can't handle it. So he needs all eyes and ears on him, and this case was that conduit for him to get eyes on him and for him to highlight how horrible the police force is, because it's of course horrible with all of these black people in positions of power, and me and my white self is going to be the white knight to come save the day and make everything right. Anyway, and then you just told him up front, bitch, we knew that from the beginning. But you in it now. Don't try and backpedal and pussy pop now. Don't try and back out now. Now you in it, and you gonna have to stay in it and see it through now. Get your life in order and get it together. He lays into him and let him know, we got shit to do. While you around here mad and commiserating about how bad shit is. No, bitch, we got shit to do. Get your life in order. Anyway, down to the low rises. I feel like y'all are really close to me. Let me back y'all up a little bit. That might be better. Down to the low rises. They running low on product, and they trying to figure out why they running low on product. They ain't gonna even make it to 12 o'clock. Stringer rolls through there. And comes to take everybody's cell phone. Give me everything. Anybody who got a page, not page cell phone. Everybody's page. Anybody who got a page, you give it to me. So they collect all the pages, and they just let him know who still got pages out there. Let them know I need the pages right now, he says. He gets 2 cell phones, gives one to Dee and one to Bodie, and says these are the only way y'all gonna be able to communicate with us. If y'all need to communicate, it needs to be on here. Your mama don't need this number, your girlfriend, nobody need the number to this phone but you. If you need to contact us, here's the number for the re-up. Here's the number if you need muscle, and here's the number if you need me. That's what Stringer tells them. No other communication from these phones. So they was like, well, what's going on with the re-up? He even tells them, listen, don't even save no numbers. Memorize the numbers. Don't save the numbers in the phone. Don't save nothing. Memorize everything. Anyway, Stringer lets them know, y'all ain't heard. Narcs came in and got the main stash house. So we ain't got no re-up. We ain't got no product. So that's why y'all ain't got no product right now. They ain't even know. And so, the fact that, the main stash house got raided and everything. And so they changed up everything because they know there's a leak in this old building. Okay? But there's a leak and somebody's getting information out there. Back down to the office. The wiretaps are silent. Ain't nothing going on. Because why? They got rid of all of the pagers. They're not using none of the pay phones. They don't have the new numbers for these cell phones. So it's nothing. No chatter at all. They done got some... Scripper girl is there, and Scripper chick, they done bought her some contacts so she could see and stuff like that, and Freeman is helping her with put the contacts in, and they want her to wear a wire so she can get intel and info. We then see Avon, Stringer, and the lawyer together, and the lawyer tells them, listen, y'all gotta tighten up shit. Y'all gotta tighten shit up. Anybody who can be flipped, y'all need to do something about that. because they can be flipped, and they will flip on y'all. And so what that means is y'all need to get ahead of all of this stuff, see where you weak, and clean everything up. Stringer also says that from what he could tell, the cops have been on them ever since Dee got off. Now I want y'all to keep that as a bookmark for this episode and next episode, okay? So Stringer is the one who put into Avon's head that it was Dee, and Dee is the that, not that it was Dee, but ever since Dee got off and got acquitted, that the police have been on them since then. Down in Burrell's office, Burrell is talking to Daniels, and Burrell says, "Listen, I'm cutting the budget for this case, okay? Cutting the budget. We done did our news press conference. We done got everything we wanted out of it. I'm cutting the budget." Sitnor and the old white guy, Santonio, they going back to their regular details. And I ain't got nothing else to do. No more taps, no nothing. Nothing else happens on this case unless it comes through me. Nothing. Not a piece of paper I want spent unless you get to go ahead for me. Down to the state attorney's office, Rhonda's boss is going off, okay? Rhonda's boss says, "So y'all looking into campaign finance and campaign donations?" And Rhonda looking dumbfounded, like, "I don't know what you're talking about." He was like, with that Barksdale case, she was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." So he was like, "Oh, they didn't let you know either." So apparently the word is getting around City Hall and other places that they looking into all kinds of campaign finances and donations and stuff like that so they can follow the money. Her boss, I guess, who is the state attorney, gave her receipts for the fact that he sent back 5 donations that might be questionable, and told them people they could keep their donations, and told him, "You can give this back to the people who looking in this case, and let them know I ain't taking no bad money from nobody. Make sure you show this to them." And also, but what this was a power move to let Rhonda know, "Bitch, I know what the fuck is going on. And if you think you're going to get away unscathed, if you think you're going to get through this and be in cahoots with these people and us not know, we know. We see you. Get it together and keep it in order." That was a warning shot to her. We then see Dee goes over to the club to go see Avon and Stringer. Okay? Dee, they ask him where's Wallace, because they want to talk to Wallace. He stands up for himself and says, "Listen, let him be. Don't fuck with Wallace. Wallace is good. Y'all don't got to worry about him. Let him be. Let him be." And this was the first time Dee stood up for himself, and stood up to his uncle. And the Stringer said, "Nah, y'all need to let Wallace go. Don't worry about Wallace. Wallace is good. Wallace is tight. And y'all need to let him be. Let him be." Stripper chick, when he leaves the office, the strippers are there because it's time for the club. Stripper chick, we find out, got a wire in her head, in her hair, trying to get intel, but she don't get no intel because she can't get nowhere near Avon's office or into there. But she's scared, and she told him earlier that she was scared about wearing that wire when she was back down to the office. But she got on the wire nonetheless. Then we see that the Baltimore police have found the security guard lady. I think it was the lady who testified in Dee's case that got Dee off. I think it was her. Anyway, she a security guard. Baby, she dead. They done got her. They done shot her dead. Because remember, the lawyer told Avon, you need to clean up everything. Tie up all your loose ends. You need to get rid of anybody that can flip. So they find her dead. But this is bad news for Wallace. Because Wallace being missing, they, in the drug game, they think, "Oh, you missing? Oh, you done turned state's evidence. Oh, you a CI now." And so they got to get rid of Wallace. This is not good for Wallace. Wallace then is back. Next thing we know, we down to the low rises, and Wallace is there. He back. And Poot is glad to see his friend. Poot is so happy to see his friend. Wallace says he wants to be put back on the money. Bodie look at Wallace like, "Hell nah. You left. You ain't being put back on the money. You going all the way back down to being on lookout. You got to work your way back up." Because people who loyal is the ones who we keep on at the level of being over in charge of the money. D says immediately, nah, if he want back on the money, he can get back on the money. Y'all know D has a soft spot in his heart for Wallace. But that doesn't bode well for D in the drug game. You can't have a soft spot for nobody. You got to be ready to take anybody out or you will get taken out. So it just, let's keep it moving. Because it's coming, y'all. Y'all know it's coming. Back down to the office, they're discussing the fact that Avon is starting to kill people because they found out about the lady and some other things that's going on. So they see that Avon is getting rid of and killing everybody who they feel can flip. So they say, so Dennis is like, listen, we need to check on Scripper Girl and make sure she's protected. So Freeman said, well, I'll let her sleep in my house if I need to. And Davis reminds him, hey, boo, remember you are a cop. Know your role. They also says we need to get on the kid. They done forgot that they left the kid up there on the Eastern Shore with his grandma, and they went back to go get him because Kima, I think, was supposed to look into that and go get him, but Kima is laid up in the hospital bed. So Daniels is like, we need to find him because they know that's one of the first people that's one of the next people they're gonna go kill. Just a minute. They don't even know Wallace is back already. Okay, so they sending people out to the grandma house to go find Wallace, not knowing that Wallace is already back. Next thing we see Wallace walking and talking with Dee. And Dee is trying to tell Wallace, he says, listen, you leaving here stirred up some shit and niggas is asking questions. And they want to know where you at, where you was, why you ain't here, why you gave up the drug game and stuff like that, and you coming back so abruptly don't look good. And Wallace is like, nah, this is my home, this is where I'm from, this is what I know, nah, I'm good, I got to be here, this is all I know, this is me. And D keeps trying to warn him and tell him, listen, no. I told y'all D got a soft spot in his heart for Wallace. But Wallace ain't trying to hear no parts of it. Wallace want back in the game. Then we see D's mom, Avons Sister. She dropped some food off to him. And they talk real fast. And we know that Avons Sister knows all about the drug game. She's in the drug game with her brother. Avon is her brother. And D is her son. And she knows all about it. She knows the game. She knows the lifestyle. She knows everything. And she's here for it. Down at the police headquarters, Daniels ends up having to meet with Burrell and Senator Clay Davis. Clay Davis tried to start off keeping it cute and keeping it politically correct. After Daniels wouldn't budge about these campaign donations and stuff like that and pulling over his driver, Clay Davis went right down the shit, cut the motherfucking shit, okay? And he went off on Daniels, and Daniels told him, well, listen, if you as innocent as you think you are, then you ain't got nothing to worry about. When Daniels walks out, Davis tells Burrell, hey, boo, you need to get your boy in check. You need to get this motherfucker in line because we ain't got time for all this shit. Everybody going down, from the mayor to you to everybody going down. You need to get him in line and get him in order. A mess. Anyway, back down to the office, Herc done found out that not only did he pass the sergeant's exam, but he got a higher position. Because the way they do it is, when you take the sergeant exam, they'll list people in order of who's next up to get the position first, and they list all the people who passed, but they rank them in order of next man up, so they have a list. Excuse me. Herc got 18. I think Carver got 32. And Herc wasn't even studying like that, so they thought Carver was doing everything he can to do well on it, and taking it way more serious than Herc. But anyway, Herc all excited. Bodie then meets with Stringer, and so Bodie goes and gets in the SUV with Stringer. Now y'all give me a moment here, because when Bodie got in his car with Stringer, when I tell you that whole scene in this truck had the makings of some grade A good black gay porn, can I tell you that? All I needed them to do was rip off each other's clothes, start kissing and, getting it down and laying some lumber down. Just a good verse T. You know what I'm saying? A good flip flop. It gave me that scene for those people who frequent black gay porn. Remember that scene back in the day with Scorpion on top of the SUV where him and I forgot dude's name, the other Latin dude. They was banging inside the truck, the SUV, and then they was banging on top of the SUV. Then they was banging in the trunk of the SUV. It was a whole hot scene. And that's what this gave me at that time. I could have seen that happen right then. They should have just got it out. And I'm sorry, I just had a whole black gay moment. Excuse me, as my testosterone got the best of me. Anyway, we then find out that Stringer asks Bodie all about Wallace and where's Wallace and tell me what you know. Wallace like Bodie's solid. Not Bodie. Bodie is like Wallace is solid, but Wallace ain't made for this game and this, that, and the third. He ain't strong like us. Next thing you know, Stringer asks Bodie if he ready to move up in this in the game. Bodie said, yeah, I'm always ready. I'm built for this. I'm made for this. He said, you got a strap? Bodie said, yeah. And that's the hit right there. He just told Bodie, you need to take care of Wallace. And my heart immediately sunk in my chest. Then we see the detail going to everywhere looking for Wallace. They looking for Wallace. They're doing everything they can to find Wallace. But they can't find him. Back down to the office. They don't put bolos and all kinds of stuff out on Wallace. Back down to the office. They done got blueprints of the strip club. Because they trying to get measurements and stuff for the strip club. Old white cop Santonio ends up going back to his regular detail. Sitnor didn't have to go because Daniel said that Sitnor's major owed him a favor. Y'all remember that from several episodes ago. See, I told y'all everything in this show means something. And when Daniels needed that favor, way back when I think that was like episode 3 or 4 or something like that. Now that's coming back in play now. Because Sitnor, that's the only way Sitnor was able to stay on the detail. Told y'all everything on this show means something. Which is why this show is so hard to review. We then see Bodie and Poot in the talking to the low rises. And Bodie tells Poot, listen, Stringer put the hit out on Wallace. We got to take him out. And Poot is in his feelings because that's his boy. That's his best friend. And he hates that he got to do it. And Bodie even hates it to a certain degree. But Bodie is like, listen, this the game. This is what we signed up for. This is what we got to do. And so Poot, I hate it for Poot. I hate it for Poot. Rhonda then goes down and talks to Daniels all about the trouble they stirring up down there at the state attorney's office and at the city hall. And she warns them. She say, listen, they, y'all stirring up trouble. Y'all, next time y'all doing some stuff, let me know. And they were like, do you think you really wanted to know ahead of time? So she gives them their warning. Bodie and Poot then take Wallace out to eat. And Wallace should have saw it coming. But Wallace ain't hip to the game like that. And if y'all notice in this game, in the drug game, every time they get ready to take somebody out, what they do? They take them out to eat. They take them and show them a good time. And it's like that Last Supper. It's like, when somebody on death row and they supposed to get killed, they end up asking what you want for your last meal. And that's what's happening with Wallace. And you can feel it in the air. You feel it coming, but you're so sad about it. Stripper girl gives them the measurements from the club, because when Rhonda was there, I forgot to mention, when Rhonda was there and Rhonda was leaving, you saw Stripper chick had this string tied to her ankles, and she was practicing walking using a certain amount of inches, so she could tell them how many paces, which told them how many inches from one place to one place, so they could measure out where things are inside of the club. Stripper chick comes back and Stripper chick leaves the club. Now, the one thing I saw in this scene that was dangerous was they had the police van that they were using to stake out the club right outside the club, probably in full sight of the video cameras or surveillance cameras in the club, which puts Stripper chick in danger because if Stripper chick leaves the club and immediately gets into this van, they can probably see that. I thought that was real stupid. But anyway, she gets in that van. She lets them know how many paces to this, how many paces here, how many paces there. All of the measurements that they need. Because they get ready to put video cameras and microphones in the walls at this apartment next door to the strip club, so they could start, getting video footage, because they couldn't get nothing with the wire. McNulty comes and lets them know that they found where Wallace's mom stays. So they're going to go see if they can find him there. And then we got Bodie and Poop take Wallace to his house. His new house, where he was taking care of the kids. And Wallace goes up in there looking for the little kids that he's been taking care of. He's calling for them here and there and everywhere, and they're not there. And you know it's about to happen. And you're like, where y'all at? Where y'all at? Where y'all at? And, eventually they go into this room, and Bodie and Poop, come up behind him. And he turn around, and Bodie was like, pull out the gun. And Wallace is just so scared, y'all. I just immediately, tears started coming down. I was so sad. I was crying, y'all. Because Bodie can't do it. And Bodie is talking about, man, be a man, because he peed his clothes. Because he knows it's over. And Poop says Bodie, because Bodie couldn't do it. Bodie was being chicken shit. And Poop said, man, if you're going to do it. And boom, he shoots Wallace. But it wasn't a shot that could kill him. And so Poop got to end up doing the job. So Poop takes the gun from Bodie and shoots him like 2 or 3 times and kills him. And they get out of there. And I had to pause. Because it fucked with me. Wallace dying fucked with me, y'all. I mean, it made me cry. I was over there in my feelings. This did something for me, y'all. So then we had Daniels and McNulty. They go to Wallace's mama's house looking for Wallace. She was like, I'm looking for this motherfucker too. He owed me $10 he stole out of my purse. Just a mess. So then we see that they got video footage and audio footage in the Avon's office. They done drill holes and stuff in there and got, these small cameras and microphones in there. So they see Dee come in the office, and Dee talking to Dee talking to Avon about a re-up, because they done, raided the stash house. So Avon wants Dee to drive up to New York, get the re-up, and bring the re-up back so that they can, distribute it in the towers and stuff like that. So they talk about what they're gonna do when they're gonna do it. So they know it's the night. So they get everything going with knowing that that's supposed to happen that night. So then the next thing we see, Bunk, they done sent Bunk to the murder scene where Wallace is. And when you see Wallace just dead, and Bunk goes in there, and I just start crying again, man. And that jump bothered me. Just seeing Wallace laid up like that, just dead like that. That jump fucked with me, man. Oh, man, that fucked with me. So, but then after that, it did something to me to see Wallace laid up like that. That really did something to me. Anyway. So after that, they're putting a tracking device, because Dee in the house. Okay, Dee be in there getting chased. It was in the house for a long ass time. So they, Sitnor goes and put a tracking device on Dee's car, underneath Dee's car. And so after a long time, they come back, changing this whole time. And James was like, yeah, he had to get right before he went on his trip. So Dee, they were like, we don't even worry about it. We ain't even got to put eyes on him. Let the satellite do what it's going to do. And so then on his way back, after he had done got the re-up and went in there, the police stopped him on the side of the road. They were like, listen, we caught you. You was in the great state of New York for 30 minutes. What you got to do in New York for 30 minutes only? Put your hands on the car. So they get him and they search the car and they find the stash. The re-up, the stash or whatever. They take him down to the precinct, down to Baltimore. Dee ain't talking. He said, I ain't talking without my lawyer. I ain't talking. They do manage to tell him that Wallace was killed. He don't believe them at first. So next thing we see, Avon is talking to his sister. That's Dee's mama. Remember the one who dropped off the food and who's in on the game. Avon's sister is going in. Like, how the fuck you gonna send my son with this sloppy ass mission? You sent him in a raggedy ass rental car. You ain't had nobody following him. You ain't had nothing like that. You sent him on it. This shit was sloppy as fuck. Y'all know we don't work like this. That's not how this shit's supposed to go. So he be like, well, listen, your son gonna need to stand up and do what he need to do and protect the business. And she was like, listen, I raised that boy. My son is gonna be right. You ain't got to worry about him. I raised him. He was raised right in the game. He was like, listen. Avon was like, listen, we paying for your house and everything you got going on. So you need to play right and your son need to play right. She was like, don't worry about him. He good. Next thing we know, Stringer and the lawyer, and they lawyer down there to go see Dee inside the jail. Dee loses it. Dee says, where the fuck is Wallace? I don't want to hear about all this other stuff about me doing what I need to do. Y'all tell me where the fuck Wallace is. They ain't got no answers for him. And he knows that's confirmation to him that Stringer had Wallace killed. For real. Dee loses it. Says, listen, fuck you, fuck your attorney. I'm gonna get my own fucking lawyer. Fuck you, where the fuck is Wallace? He just keeps screaming, where's Wallace? As they take him back into the jail. So he done flipped. Daniels is back in Burrell's office. Listen, Burrell asked Daniels, what about this video and audio that y'all fucking got? And y'all ain't even tell me. And I told Joe Monkey he has to tell me any and everything that y'all do ahead of time. And you ain't tell me shit. Daniels was like, listen, we needed to do this. We got intel. We going full steam ahead with our case. Burrell was like, fuck you mean? Go ahead. Get D'Angelo Barksdale on this stash that he got from New York, and we closing the case. Daniels was like, well, we not doing it. And so Burrell was like, and so why y'all following all of this campaign money and this, that, and the third? Daniels was like, listen, we following the money. And Avon Barksdale done paid for a lot of people. Daniels told him, y'all need to stop. Burrell told him, y'all need to stop. Daniels was like, you got something to be worried about? Burrell was like, oh, we want to talk about worry? He pulls out the FBI files. We've been following you for a long time. And if I wanted to, I could have you put in jail for all the stuff you got going on. So you need to end this case now. Daniels bucks up and grows up here and says, nigga, if you was going to have me arrested, I would have already been arrested. But you're not. And I'm going to keep on with my case. And we're going to keep it pushing. Get over yourself. And keeps it pushing and says he's going to continue with his case. Next thing you know, they downstairs at the club, getting ready with SWAT team and all to roll up in on Avon and Stringer. Avon and Stringer watching it all from upstairs, seeing that they about to get in there. So Avon is ready and Stringer ready to go on to jail. They already know how this is about to go down, but apparently they done got with the lawyer and got everything right so that they don't have to be in there too long. So Daniel, instead of having SWAT team go in on them, Daniels and McNulty go in there and get them. They put Avon in Chanel bangles. They let Stringer go. Keep that in mind. And then at the end, you see the detectives on the detail saying, yeah, we got Avon in jail, but for some reason, it just don't seem finished. This don't seem over. It feels like we still got a lot of work to do on this case. Sitting over saying that to Freeman, like, this is the best police work I've ever done, and we got a lot more to do. I can't believe this is over. And Freeman was like, it may not be. And the last thing we see is this shot of the lowriders, which is empty. Ain't nobody selling no drugs. The couch is there, empty as a mug. Ain't nobody there. And it goes off from there. That was the whole episode. Now, y'all, keep in mind Stringer Bell. Y'all think it was coincidence that Dee went to go do the re-up? Y'all think it was coincidence that Stringer Bell put in the Avon's head that all the police was on him when after Dee got acquitted? Y'all think any of it? Y'all think it was coincidence that Stringer ended up not being arrested, but Avon was? Add 1 and 1 and get 2. That's the wire, y'all. I am enjoying this journey. We got one more episode to be finished with season 1, and then it'll be on to season 2. That's all I got for y'all this time. Thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out.